Getting some pretty good water. All right guys, this right here is the ice eater that I made last fall. It's really pretty easy. We had it for like the last quarter of the waterfowl season, so we used it a couple times, but it didn't really get that cold for us to use it very much. A lot of the water was open for us. So what it is we have a trolling motor that we sawed off the base for, and it just spins in there, pushes water out. So I went ahead, took a tree stand base, cut out the metal, and I didn't really care about the sides, so I didn't really grind those off. It doesn't really matter to me very much. Put these crossbars on so you can stick it down in the mud. So when you turn on this engine and you plug it into a battery, the trolling motor will start spinning. And if you're not careful and you don't have it pushed down, it'll kick it up. So that's why I put those crossbars in, stick it down. So the bucket isn't really on very good. It's kind of makeshift. So we just tied some wires. That way the motor doesn't hit any of the sides. How it's connected to the sides is I had to weld a bracket onto this little piece of pipe, and we got it bolted on right there, just like that. Get a look at that. And then took a bolt and hooked it onto the fin right here on this side. And it's waterproof because in this hollow pipe that comes out here, it ends about right here. And I have the motor connected to this insulated wire. And it goes in there. There's silicone inside this pipe. And inside the pipe comes out the wires, and then we wrapped electrical tape around it. So it's waterproof from the silicone, but just as an extra measure, we put electrical tape all the way down to here. We got about 60 feet of wire, which for all the ponds that we'll be hunting on, that's pretty good for us. So what I tend to do with this is early in the morning when we're setting out decoys, if we got a pond that's full of ice cover and probably gonna have to break a giant hole open, this saves us a lot of time, because all you gotta do is break a big enough hole to set the ice eater down into, and then it takes about 30 minutes and you can get a pretty decent hole going, and it's so much easier to move ice out of the way once you get water on top of the ice layer. So it works pretty good. I'll show you the ends of the wire right here. This is the end of our cables. Got my ground right here, just like that. Hooks onto the battery. And what I'm gonna do is in the morning, just gonna pull the truck up right next to the pond, hook it up, get it going like that, so I save battery. Then I have a 12-volt battery that I use during the hunt, and I'll just clip it on, get it going for about 10 seconds, and then let it off. It works as a perfect like jerk cord. It's like the same system, except it moves more water at the time. So instead of using a jerk cord and the ice eater, I'll just keep it in there all morning, and it'll be moving water, and it doesn't use that much battery. If I kept the wires on to the battery the whole morning, I'd probably only get an hour and a half out of a 12-volt fully charged battery. So if we go there and just tap it to keep that water from freezing, then it'll serve its purpose. All right, so here you see our trolling motor fan right there, and it's pretty close to touching the bucket. It moves quite a bit of water using this bucket as the barrel. It gives the water a direction to go. That's why the fan's facing this way. What we're trying to do, what we haven't done yet, is put a fan cover on this side of the bucket, because what it does is it sucks water in from the bottom and pushes it out the front with this trolling motor blade. So that's what it's going to do. So if you have like any brush or any sticks floating in the water, sometimes it'll suck all that crap that's sitting on the bottom through here with the fan blade going. And so a fan cover would stop from all the big particles getting sucked up and maybe damaging the blade. But we haven't had any problems with it so far. So I have a clip of this past winter of us breaking some ice that I'm going to show you guys right now. Just got the ice eater working. I got it hooked up to my truck battery right now. Got the wire strung out. Got it in the pond.
I could move it up a little bit in the shallower water if I want more waves, but that'll open up a hole right there. All those ice chunks are from it pushing it up, so I think if I get a 12-volt battery and just keep on touching it every minute or so during the hunt, I think it'll be good. I think it'll keep a hole open when it's trying to freeze up. But yeah, look at it go. Working pretty good.
All right, so if you guys are looking to use this ice eater with like overnight, something to break a big hole open overnight, you're really gonna want a generator, a gas powered generator. So that way you can hook up the cable to the generator and you can keep it going all night with like an extended tank or something. But right now what we're just doing is I have about 4 12-volt car batteries that they're not that great of batteries, but we're still able to use them pretty well. So I charge them with the car battery charger, and you'll typically get an hour. Some of the batteries we can only get about 30 to 45 minutes out of, but if you don't hold the battery clips on there the whole time, you can typically get an hour and a half. So we just rotate those batteries instead of keeping it hooked up to the truck or a generator. During the hunt, we'll take in a couple batteries, and that's what we'll use. So we just showed you guys the clip of us actually breaking some ice in the wintertime. Now it's the end of May. We just had a big rain come in and flood everything. So we're gonna go put this thing in the yard and show you guys how it works. All right guys, Nate's about to turn it on. I got it about 5 inches from the top of the water. All right, Nate, turn it on. That's the output at about 5 inches under the water. You see, I mean, it's got decent waves going out about at least 10 yards, 10-15 yards. So, tried to get it on a not so windy day, but this is about as good as we can do. Puts out a pretty good hole. So, right now, Nate's just got it hooked up to the truck battery. Hey. Looking good, Nathan. Looking good. So, I mean, it's putting waves. Pretty good waves out there, so. I mean, that thing's moving some water.
There to my battery. Brett's in there videoing. But, yeah, we just got the cord run to the truck battery for now, just for this video, but it's putting out a pretty good wave.
Getting some pretty good water movement. And like I said, that's about 5 inches from the top of the water. So you can move it higher to get bigger waves coming up, or you can put it lower so it doesn't make such a big splash. Whichever one. I'm about to lift it up a little bit to show you guys the movement of the water, how it changes, how deep you put it down in the mud, and from the surface of the water. You have the top of the bucket just outside the water, just grazing the very surface. It puts out a bigger wave. You can change the angle of it if you want to, but for most of the ponds that we do around here, it's pretty much set for every single pond we're going to be hunting.